What is up, everyone? It's Denise Salcedo. Welcome to my Hard to Kill Impact Wrestling pay-per-view post-show. We have so much to get into here tonight. We had 9 matches tonight on Hard to Kill and plenty to talk about. So we are going to go ahead and jump into that. We're going to be talking about everything in chronological order. But before we get to that, I do want to welcome each and every single one of you guys to this stream. If you are new to my post-show streams, these are usually a lot of fun. Very interactive, so make sure to share your thoughts with me throughout the entire show because I will be reading your comments. I'll try to get to as many as I possibly can here tonight. Also, if you want to, you guys are always more than welcome to send in a super chat. I promote those each and every single stream. Why? Because they keep me fed, guys, and I like to eat. So if you guys want to go ahead and send in a super chat at any point throughout the stream, you are more than welcome to. So I'm seeing a lot of new faces on here, and it's very, very exciting. So, all right, let's kick it off with what you guys thought about Hard to Kill overall before we jump into each and every single match. But before, as you guys get to that, I'm going to start going ahead and reading some comments here from several people that we're getting here. And so D-Train Riot Maker says he didn't think it was a bad show. Jeremy A says, wow, what an amazing main event and great show all in all. It had something for everyone, which makes for a great night. Dennis Sheehan says, go show to make non-watchers a product to watch. And Thomas Lipiot says, love the show. What a fantastic main event. And Mr. M.A. Campbell says, I want a one-on-one match between Moose and Kenny. So we have a lot of people that thought this was a great show, including Daniel Lachetta, who also thought it was a great show too. So you guys are probably going to hate me after I give my opinions here. Backlash says fantastic. I loved it. And we actually have a comment here from the Yankee Power says, love this show. Great variety of matches. And we have our first super chat, by the way. Thank you so much to Matthew Makovsky, who says, for all the pizza and ranch you want to eat, Denise. Thank you so much, Matthew Makovsky. Thank you for keeping me fed here on tonight's show. Oh man, you guys are going to hate me. I'm going to turn heel on my own show on my own channel. While I loved a lot of things that happened on tonight's pay-per-view, I have to say I was a little bit disappointed in tonight's show. There were a lot of hits, but there were also a lot of misses, in my opinion, and a lot of things that didn't get me necessarily completely riled up. There were a couple of matches where I was expecting more. I wasn't as invested. So I have to say that even though we ended on a very, very good note, we ended with a very strong main event. I have to say that not the entire show kept up to my expectations. And that's me being honest, because I always come on here and I'm always as honest as I possibly can be about, the shows and what we watch. So I will break it down each and every single match and let you know why some of the matches necessarily weren't my favorite. And Daniel confirms that I have had a heel turn on my own show. Tanil says, 5 out of 10 show. The three-way X Division match in the main event kept the rating up. Thank you so much, Tanil, because that is exactly how I felt about it. A couple other matches that I really enjoyed, but in terms of the best matches, it was definitely that three-way X Division match and also the main event too. So I do agree with you as well. We have a comment from Janelle Jackson who I want to read because Janelle says, I saw your video with Deonna Purrazzo. I enjoyed Hard to Kill tonight. If you guys haven't already, I do have an interview up with Deonna Purrazzo. And she obviously talks about Hard to Kill, wrestling Taya Valkyrie, how she prepares for a big pay-per-view for an opponent of a caliber like Taya Valkyrie, and so much more. It's a really fun one up here on the channel. But okay, we're getting so many different thoughts here. Let's see. We have one from M. Kowalski Chonko who says, hey, Denise, thought that the show was great. You are a great person and don't let anyone say otherwise. You don't have to say my name because I know you will butcher it. I said it and I butchered it, so I'm very sorry. But I'll call you MC in the meantime. But thank you so much for your support. And by the way, I did see your email, MC, and I want to thank you so much for also emailing me too. I thought it was a very nice email that you wrote. So thank you so much for that as well. All right, and Rory to Go also says a 4 out of 10, and Brian Panthera says, wasn't able to watch the show, but thank you for covering it. Okay, so let's talk about this, guys. Again, I told you that I enjoyed a lot of the moments of the show, but then there were moments that I could kind of didn't care for. So let's kick it off with the first match of the night, which was a tag team match between Decay, which is a team of Rosemary and Crazy Steve, versus Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K. So first and foremost, I was so excited to see DK team up once again because they are a nice team together, and Crazy Steve is awesome, okay? He is awesome. So the fact that we got to sort of see them team up once again, this reunion, I thought was pretty cool. The match itself, I thought it was fine. It wasn't out of this world opener. It wasn't something that necessarily got me completely pumped up for the entire show. So I do think the opener didn't really have that great, feeling that you're supposed to get in an opening match. But nonetheless, it was a perfectly fine match. I do have to say that I have to talk about Tennille Dashwood's character because I really like what she's doing with this whole influencer gimmick, and she's been doing it. And every time that I've seen it, I feel like it's getting better and better. And today, I like the fact that she incorporated that. We got to see that incorporation in the match where she's taking pictures during the moves and different stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. I am excited to see. I hope that they continue to amp her character up because I do think that there is still so much more that you can do with the influencer gimmick. So I hope that they do get that a little bit better there. But overall, it was a decent opening match. Nothing completely out of this world, but perfectly fine. We have another super chat from Brian Panthera. He says, Denise booking her own heel turn, and I am here for it. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for sending in this super chat. It is very greatly appreciated. So what did you guys think of the opening match? Go ahead and send in your thoughts here. But in the meantime, I will read this comment from Gatecrasher Forever, who says, that was the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. Even the women's match was poor. The show came across as indie outlaw mud show rubbish. Regretted buying the show. Gatecrasher. So honestly, I won't call it the worst pay-per-view because I don't think it was a bad pay-per-view. I just think that I think it fell short of the expectations. That's my true opinion. I found myself zoning in and zoning out during certain matches. But again, we did mention earlier that they had a great X Division match. They had a great main event. The women's match was okay. We'll talk about that more later. But I don't know if I necessarily would say it was the worst pay-per-view. I think we just maybe didn't come up to complete the expectations that we were expecting. We have a comment from Saeed. Ugunubi, by the way, I'm so sorry if I mess up your guys' names. Saeed says, you have just made Impact look like the bottom feeders by letting Kenny Omega beat Rich Swann. It has to be an invasion angle coming. Well, I liked the finish, and I think that this is definitely going to lead to a Kenny Omega Rich Swann match which by the way, I am completely here for. That is actually what I would love to see. So if they do go in that direction, I am 100% there for it. Oliver via Roel says, the main event was definitely a nice preview of what future cross promotional shows AEW can do. I agree. I completely agree. I think that, the fact that they have this relationship, AEW and Impact Wrestling, tonight with the main event was a perfect way of how to utilize that. And I thought that Impact, the commentary team, did a really good job at really putting over the fact that Kenny Omega was stepping into an Impact Wrestling stage. And they really, really made it feel like a big deal. Like if you didn't feel like it was already a big deal, they definitely did that for you. We have a comment from Tony Shadman who says, this pay-per-view stepped up in so many different ways. The diversity in storytelling and talent was incredible. They did have several different types of matches which I definitely appreciated. So I do have to give a nod to that as well. We have a comment from TJ says, I never get to see the pay-per-view, so I follow via post shows. First time on yours, Fightful was slandering Cobra Kai last night, so I'm here. And now Team Denise. Thank you so much to TJ. I haven't seen Cobra Kai, so I don't have any comments on it just yet. But I have heard, I've heard a lot of people say that I should watch it because they very much enjoy the show. But I don't know anything about it as of right now. But thank you so much for being a first-time viewer here on my channel. And let's see, we have a comment from D-Train Riotmaker says, personally, Impact is missing something to why still the empty arena, question mark. Not that it would have saved the pay-per-view, but it could make it look a little bit better. I'm glad that they added the ambient, that they added the fan noise. I'm glad that they added that because so many of their shows, it was just, you would just hear the wrestlers bumping and stuff like that. It was kind of awkward to watch. So I'm glad that they finally added some ambience, but it is kind of funny though, because there's no screens with people there. There's no people on the, the sides of the rings, which is perfectly fine because we're in a pandemic and I appreciate the safety and the COVID protocols that Impact Wrestling is following. So I am glad that they added some sort of ambience here for this match here. And, we have Mr. M.A. Campbell who says, Omega symbol in the Rebellion logo, Swann versus Omega at Rebellion. Look, I'm not Nostradamus, but the fact that, you're talking about this Rebellion logo, and that's something that everybody's talking about, obviously, and the way that Impact ended tonight, I think that we can maybe 99.9% say that we might be seeing Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann at Rebellion, and I hope so. But again, I'm not Nostradamus, and I don't know how true that may be. Provide247 says, I hope Taya stays with the company. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, because I kind of feel like commentary made it seem like we might not be seeing Taya anymore. I don't know what her status is in terms of like contract wise with the company, but I kind of got the feeling that we're not going to be seeing Taya on Impact anymore. Again, I could be completely wrong. We have a comment from Jim Barcelone who says, it was interesting to see the champ do the honors in the main event. Swamp, your Impact Wrestling champion, needs to get some type of retribution, which is exactly why I liked the finish to the main event, because it leads us into this theory that this is the match that we're going to be seeing at Rebellion, Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. And I am 100% here for that. We have a comment from Alex Aguilera who says, Karate Man versus Ethan Page reminds me of the martial arts scene from Dumb and Dumber. Alex, I hope you follow me on Twitter because I literally posted that on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter page, it's there. I posted the side-by-side pictures of the Karate Man with the heart, and then Dumb and Dumber with the heart there. With the heart there. I definitely posted that as well. So, we got to read this comment from Jim. Jim Barcelone says, Moose just moved up to another level. Holy moly. I was not expecting to be as blown away by Moose as I was here today. If you were going to tell me that out of all of these men in this main event, that Moose was going to be the one to really stand out, even with Kenny Omega there, I would have said, no, I think you're wrong. But the fact that Moose literally proved us all wrong, if anybody was denying him or whatever the case may be, he literally was the star of that match. He was definitely one of the top stars in that match. I wasn't necessarily all that, like, when they announced him, I was like, all right, okay, it's Moose instead of Alex Shelley. Bummer, because I wanted to see Alex Shelley. But now I kind of say that I regret thinking that, because he came out here, he had his working shoes on, man. He really, really did. God, okay, first of all, I'm so excited because we're getting so many people on this stream, but let's continue on. So, after the opening match, we had the 6-man tag team grudge match, and it was Violent by Design, which is the team of Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doering versus Tommy Dreamer, Cousin Jake, and Rhino. And okay, so for this match here, I thought this one was okay. Again, so at the top of this, for those of you who missed it, I said that I didn't necessarily love this show, and the reason the two matches that we saw first were the matches that, you're supposed to set this energy, this excitement for the card, for the night. And I didn't feel that with the first match, and I didn't feel it with this match either. I didn't really think this match was any good. I thought it was okay. It was just there. It just felt like your regular hardcore match. And it was, sloppy considering that Eric Young was in it. I was just expecting so much more out of this one. The one of my favorite spots though for this match was when Rhino, Dreamer, and Cousin Jake all had the chairs, and basically they were all holding the chairs, and they were looking at Joe, and basically like he's like this big monstrous guy, right? And he kind of just like didn't care that they all had chairs. Like he's like, no, I'm gonna fight with my fist like a man. Oh, I love that part. And I like the fact that they really put over the size of Joe Doering and how he's this really big guy. I thought they did a good job at, making him out to seem like this monster type of guy. But I was expecting more of a wild brawl for this match. And I don't think we got that. I think this match was just there, honestly. There wasn't anything else that I completely like. Oh, and I do have to talk about the finish because Eric Young pins Cousin Jake. And I think Cousin Jake is one of the guys from all of those guys there that has like the most potential. So I don't understand why they couldn't have Tommy Dreamer get pinned instead. Like Tommy Dreamer, he's already Tommy Dreamer. Like that's it. Like we know what we're going to get out of Tommy Dreamer. So I didn't think that having Cousin Jake get pinned was necessarily the best option there. I do have to add, too, that Cousin Jake is seriously going to benefit so much from feuding with Eric Young because we all know, dude, Eric Young is one of those guys. If you really want to just elevate somebody, somebody that's getting started or trying to get to that next level, working with somebody like Eric Young is the guy that's going to get you there. So that's how I felt about this match. I wasn't crazy about it whatsoever. So let's see what you guys are all saying here. Duke Togo 13 says, I like their name, though, Violence by Design. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that too. And all right, Rory to go says the second match was a 3 out of 10. Matthew Makovsky says, I'll be honest, I didn't watch most of the show. I was too worked up about the Mania plan, so I had to FaceTime a friend. God, don't depress me, Matthew Makovsky. Matthew Makovsky's depressing me now because WrestleMania is supposed to be here in my town of Los Angeles this year. And they're not. It's going to be till 2023. It feels like forever from now, and I feel like that's definitely gonna. Go by really fast. And when it actually happens, it's gonna, feel like it went by faster. But right now, it just feels like forever from now. So I am a little bit bummed up there. So, oh God. All right. Oh, thank you so much. Marcus actually agrees with me on this one too, that the first two matches were meh. Yeah, the first two matches really didn't do anything for me. They really did not. And it's very unfortunate because, they set the theme of this show, kicking it off. All right. So match number 3 of the night, which is the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, which was Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Havok and Nevaeh. And I have to say that this was the turning point of the show. With this match, this is when we started to see the show go uphill. And I wasn't expecting very much out of this match. And I have to say that at this point in time, this was match of the night at this point in time, because they seriously went out there and they had a very, very, very good tag team match. The thing that I liked about this was the fact that Havok and Nevaeh, they brought something so different from Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. We know Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz are more of that fast-paced type of style, right? But then you have Havok and Nevaeh, who are more of like this powerhouse type. I love how both of these styles sort of, clashed with one another in this match. And I thought they did a really good job here. I didn't think this match was going to be that great. And it was perfectly fine. And this was honestly the match that started heading it off in the right direction. And I do think that the right team won. And I kind of had a feeling that it was obviously going to be Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz winning. And that was perfectly fine. I thought they were great in this match, honestly. Aaron Kames also agrees the fact that he didn't think that the first matches were as good as expected. Provide 247 says they really loved the barbed wire match. Shannon Castleberry, by the way, congratulations, Shannon Castleberry. Shannon Castleberry won my giveaway for this pay-per-view, so she got to watch Hard to Kill for free. Congratulations to Shannon. If you haven't followed me on Twitter or Instagram, follow me because I always do these giveaways on there. I have a partnership with Fight. So Fight will provide me codes so that I can share with them with you guys and, give you guys some free codes. They only give me one. So, it is what it is, but hey, one's better than nothing. So Shannon Carrisonberry says I should really like this match as well. Tanul says, I wasn't expecting much from the Knockouts tag team match either. I didn't think it even met my expectations. A couple of cool spots aside. You know what? I think it exceeded my expectations. I really, really did think so. Jake Larson says both of these teams also seem like teams instead of women thrown together. Take note, WWE. Yes. Well, we have always known that Impact Wrestling has had a very good women's division. This is nothing new. They've always been, I've said this before. I just said this actually in an interview with Deonna Purrazzo. I told her like Impact Wrestling women's division has always been one step ahead throughout like the last several years. So yeah, definitely they more feel like an actual tag team. And any other thoughts here? Marcus says Deonna Purrazzo is an amazing wrestling talent. I agree. And okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next match. So after this, we had, okay, so this next match, match number 4, which was Ace Austin with Madman Fulton versus Matt Cardona. So I think this could have gone a totally different direction than it did. So the match itself, it was good. Like it was perfectly fine. It was short. It was not obviously not that long. It was pretty short. It was brief, but for what we saw, it was good. However, I did not like the finish of this match. I didn't think it made Ace Austin look great. It didn't make Matt look great. It was those finishes that we all do not like, that we always constantly complaining about. So I thought that instead they could have done something totally different instead. When Scott D'Amore told Ace Austin that essentially he would be facing Matt, or when Matt came out, Ace Austin could have been like, nah, I ain't facing him. Like he could have been like that cowardly type of heel or whatever and had Madman Fulton face him instead. So this could have been Madman Fulton versus Matt Cardona instead. And easily they could have had Matt Cardona pin Madman Fulton in a good match and actually have his debut, actually mean something and have it be impactful instead of having it be like a sloppy finish like the way that it was. So I did think had they just switched up the opponents, it would have meant a little bit more. And I thought it would have been a lot better for this one here. I didn't necessarily love how this all played out, even though we did get a nice brief match with Ace and Matt. And I also shared on Twitter though that my prediction for Impact Wrestling in 2021 is that by the end of the year, or maybe even before, I do think Ace Austin will be world champion down the line. So what did you guys all think about Matt Cardona coming into Impact Wrestling? What did you think of this match? How did you guys feel about it? All right, we're getting so many comments on this. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to kick it off with, I'm going to try to see which ones were the first ones here. And let's start off with, okay, we have here, Shannon Castleberry says that she was actually shocked to see Matt Cardona. Yeah, I don't think I was expecting it either. Joseph Boza says, the match was okay, no problem. Just wondering, did they sign Matt to a deal, or was this a case that they had no idea on how to keep Ace Austin relevant? Even commentary pointed out that obviously they don't know if this is a one-time thing or if he's signing with Impact Wrestling. I'm sure we'll get more information, and hopefully we get more information in the next couple of weeks. But as of right now, we still don't know. But I do think that Ace Austin is literally the future of Impact Wrestling. And Alex Aguilera says, I wish Impact wouldn't bury Ace Austin. They need to build him up because he's destined to be a star. 100%, Alex, which is why this match should have instead been with Madman Fulton and not Ace Austin. Like they could have built to that, given, let's just say that Cardona's going to be doing more stuff with Impact Wrestling. They could have built to something like this so that, so that he could have that win coming in today because he, came in as a big surprise. He should be getting the win, but it shouldn't be over somebody like Ace Austin. So that's honestly my opinion on that. And we have a comment from Jim who says, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, good young talent. Hells yeah. Marcus also says Ace Austin has a lot of potential. Dude, he really does. He really, really does. And anything else here? All right, cool. Oh, we have a comment from Jake Larson who says Cardona seems like a better fit for Impact than AEW. I think it's a good move for him. Dude, I was actually thinking the exact same thing. I really think so too. And also, you know, AEW already has so many guys on their roster, so many guys. And, you know, we've talked about this. I talk about this on my Wednesday show on F4W all the time, how so many guys don't get the proper opportunity to really get a lot of TV time, or they get TV time 1 week and then we don't see them for a couple of weeks. So I do think that he is a better fit for Impact Wrestling and could really work with a lot of the younger talent that is still, again, trying to get up to that next level. And he's somebody that could definitely work with them as well. So that's my opinion on that there. Alrighty, guys. So let's move on. After this, we had the X Division match, which was Chris Bay versus Manik. Versus Rohit Raju. I was going to make a joke, but my joke didn't come through, so I'm not going to make the joke anymore. All right, this was, at this point, the best match of the night, okay? This could be arguably some people's favorite match of the night. This match was a good match. I mean, look at the talent that you have in the ring. Like, we've just talked about the fact that people love Chris Bay. Chris Bay is like an extraordinary talent. I don't think I've put him over enough, or I've tried to put him over each and every single show, because I really do think that he is somebody that, you know, people should be a fan of, and I think people already are. Manik, who is not TJP, please look at my glitching eyes, who is not, air quotation points, TJP, ended up winning this match. And for the most part, I will have to say that I know a lot of people were upset, but I guess the right guy won only because this protected Chris Bay, who will eventually dethrone Manik again, who is not TJP, who will dethrone Manik. And this also closes the feud between Rohit Raju and TJP again, who is, okay, I'm already getting confused here, guys. I was trying to make a joke, and I don't think my joke is coming through clear enough here, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. This was a good match, guys. I liked it, and it was one of those things that this was the match that elevated this pay-per-view, because at this point, I wasn't feeling it all that much, but this was a match that definitely started to make it like, okay, I'm finally like getting into the show here. So this is when it continued leveling up here, but let's see what you guys all thought about this match. Go ahead and send in your thoughts here today. I do have to say though that I do think it's kind of silly though that commentary has to pretend, and I hate to say it, but it's such a WWE thing to be like, oh, you know, I don't know who that is. That's not TJP. It can't possibly be TJP. I think there's a way to do it where it could be funny and also not make the commentators look dumb. So I kind of didn't like the whole Manik TJP thing, how the commentary team handled it, but whatever. It's not really that big of a deal, but whatever. What did you guys all think about this match? All right, we have several comments here. The Shadow Ranger says Dynamite is a 2-hour show and they have more than 80 signed wrestlers. Dude, they have so many people. I don't know how many people they have, but I feel like they have everybody under the sun. Shannon Castleberry notes that Chris is beyond her favorite Impact star. Eric Clark notes that this match was crazy. Dude, it was a solid match. Catherine Dixon says Rohit is 40 and looks late 20s. Don't overlook him. Dude, I am such a big fan of Rohit. And I think for me, it's not necessarily the in-ring stuff that he does. For me, what made me fan of Rohit is his personality. He has this very, very good charisma, and he has very good natural comedic timing where he doesn't try too hard to be funny, but like he's funny. And I like that. I really, really like that. And the second I was introduced to Rohit, I became a fan of his instantly. Like, it didn't take me long to warm up to him. So I've continued to, and I've stayed a fan of Rohit Raju ever since. And let's see, we got some more comments here from, we have one from Joseph Moore who says, I've really enjoyed watching Impact for the last year or so, but I have a hard time seeing TJP and Rich Swann in their current positions given their beliefs / histories. Yeah, unfortunately, it's something that we've talked about with several other talents. We've talked about it with Velveteen Dream. We've talked about it with Austin Theory. We've talked about it with Lars Sullivan. There's some guys that unfortunately you start to get tainted because of, whatever, just given everything that's going on in the social media realm. And that's understandable. I think that some people can look past it and some people can't. And then it also depends on the circumstances of things, what the history or the beliefs or whatever the case may be. It does depend on that too. So I don't necessarily blame somebody for that because I know I have my opinions on that as well. We have a comment from Alex Aguilera who says, Manik and Chris Bay are the better wrestlers, but Rohit has way better charisma. Dude, Rohit's charisma is top notch. And a comment from Backlash who says, these three guys were responsible for some amazing wrestling in the last couple of months for me in both Impact and New Japan. D-Chain Riot Maker says, wait, TJP is Manik? Holy crap, I'm shook. Oh my God, we're all so shook. God, see, now the joke went and got, whatever. We're done with this, guys. We're done with this. All righty. And let's continue on here. 1 second, guys. So, all right, there we go. And John Elite for Life also says, I agree. I like Rohit's character. Yeah, completely agree with you too. And alrighty, there you go, guys. That is pretty much that match there. And I think everybody was on the same page in terms of they really enjoyed this match. Okay. Let's read this comment from MC who says, I like Chris Bay. I think he's the most talented in the X division. Also, can we be pen pals, Denise? Love you so much. Good night, Denise. Yo, I'm a terrible pen pal. As much as I'd love to have a pen pal, I'm so busy right now that I don't even have time to text people back. So I would make the worst pen pal ever. We do have another comment from Catherine Dixon who says fans need to separate the art from the artist. And I think that that's actually, it depends on the person, honestly, because I don't think that I can do that 100%. And I'll just be real with you. I can't do that. And if I can't do that, I don't think a lot of people can do that too. Again, there are different levels to this and really just depends on the story, whatever. It does depend. But I don't think that, I think some people can do it, but not everybody. And I don't necessarily think that that makes anybody wrong or right there on that case. All right, you guys. So there you go. Let's go ahead and move on from this. Let's move on to match number 6 of the night, which was the Knockouts Championship match. Deonna Purrazzo, the champion, versus Taya Valkyrie. And so first of all, again, shout out to Deonna Purrazzo, who I had an interview with. If you guys have not checked it out, it is on this channel. Check it out. Give it a like. Check out the lightning round game that I did with her too, because she answers so many questions. She talks about first date. She talks about what she's studying at school, so many different stuff. And I think it's a really nice glimpse into Deonna and who she is as a person. So if you're a fan of Deonna and you want to get to know her a little bit more, the real person, go ahead and check out that interview as well. So this match started out with a lot of outside shenanigans, which I did not like. I was not here for that. It brought the hype down for this match. I would have liked for them just to get straight into this match, not do any of those outside shenanigans. I didn't like or care for any of that. But I did love what this match did for Deonna in terms of she was pretty much in control this entire match. She dominated the top of the match. We did have Taya Valkyrie bounce back in the middle of this match, but for the most part, Deonna was on top of this. And commentary did a really good job at putting over Deonna as being this technical genius. And if you didn't already see her that way, I think that commentary definitely helped put that into a lot of people's heads tonight. So they did a really good job on all of that. In terms of packaging Deonna, they did a great job in this match. And her beating somebody like Taya Valkyrie, who was the longest knockouts women's champion. I think her record was 355 days, I think. Someone could double check that for me, but her reign was quite a while. So the fact that she got a win over Taya Valkyrie really just makes Deonna go up to that next level as well. So I did like this match. However, it does make me wonder, Is Taya Valkyrie leaving Impact Wrestling? Again, I don't know her contract status. I don't know the details on that. But based on how commentary was like, what's next for Taya Valkyrie? What's next for Taya Valkyrie? It made me wonder if she's leaving. It didn't feel like Taya Valkyrie was staying at Impact Wrestling. And so that was just kind of a little thing that I noticed. So let's see what you guys are all saying here. All right, we're getting several types of comments on this, and I just want to make sure I'm reading the right ones. Again, this is a very interactive show, guys. So if you want your comment read, go ahead and send it in. I usually read them right after each and every single match, and this kind of just talk about what you guys are all saying here. Mr. M.A. Campbell says, who's the next challenger for Deonna? So I don't know, but I'm thinking, like, when I spoke to her, she basically said, like, anybody in that roster she would love to face. Like, and they do have a lot of women and a lot of women with very unique characters that I think could work well with Deonna Purrazzo. Now, who that is, we don't know just yet. Steve Wrestling fan says Taya to AEW, I hope. Backlash says Deonna could end up becoming the face of the Knockouts or even the whole company as a whole. Terrence Williams says Taya is an all-time great. Matthew Makovsky says personality helps me loving and connecting to someone. Deonna is the exact example. She's a star. She's amazing. So I do think that if Taya does leave anywhere, I could definitely see her going to AEW just because I think AEW would really benefit from having her. In terms of WWE, they already have a stacked women's division. They have more than enough women to really keep that division going. And we've talked about the AEW women's division. I've criticized the AEW women's division. So I do think that they would benefit very much from having somebody like Taya work with a lot of the girls that aren't necessarily at a level like Taya Valkyrie is, and she could drive that women's division. Holy hell, she can drive that women's division because Taya Valkyrie is a legit badass. So I would love to see her in AEW, literally, because I think she would do so much for that women's division. So there you guys go. Oh, thank you so much, Brian, for double checking that. I knew it was 300 and something. So Taya's reign is 377 days. I said 355. I knew it was something close to that. So because I was reading it, I was reading it. I did the research and all of that, and then I just forgot. So sorry, my brain was done. But thank you so much to Brian Panthera. So correction, Taya's reign was not 355 days. It was 377. I really appreciate that. So there you go. We have a comment from the Shadow Ranger who says, the Knockouts roster is so small. With a singles and tag bouts, they need to sign some new women ASAP. Yeah, I think they will. I think right now it's so hard, too, because with indies not happening, it's almost like, for me, like, how do you get your, I don't know, how do you continue getting your name out there, when events were running and people were, doing good stuff on the indies, people were talking about it. So I don't know if it makes things harder for people to, get noticed. I don't know. It's just a speculation on that. It really is just a speculation. And Sergio Redo Shake says an AEW women's division crossover with the Knockouts. That would honestly be one of the best things that they can do because, again, it would really help out that AEW women's division as well. Joseph Boza says SRS of Fightful posted on his Twitter that in 2019, Taya revealed she signed a 2-year deal. It's up this year. Alrighty, there you go. That's exactly what I was waiting for because I told you guys that I didn't know Taya's contract status. There you go. Joseph Boza just let us know what SRS said on that there. And then, so make what you will. Make what you will. When that is this year, I don't know. Alex Aguilera says Taya's years working in Mexico could make a great asset to the AEW women's division. She has a lot of knowledge and experience. Dude, 100%. And I've seen Taya wrestle at so many events live, and I will tell you, she's a legit badass. Like, wrestling men, wrestling women, it doesn't matter. Like, I was constantly amazed by her. Like, we got to work together when I was working at Ara Lucha as a ring announcer because she was one of the talents that was, with the company. And I got to see her do some cool ass stuff, man. Like, I don't think I could put over Taya enough, honestly. I don't think I could put her over enough. Alrighty. So here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next match. By the way, for all of you guys who are here, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I welcome you to subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter or on Instagram, please do so. I'm at _Denise Salcedo, and I'm almost at 14K on Twitter, and I'm almost on 20K on Instagram. It's really hard to get followers, guys. So go follow me. Yeah, go follow me. All right. Moving on, match number 7 of the night, which it was a cinematic match. It was the Karate Man versus Ethan Page. And all I gotta say really about this was that it was so bad that it was good. Okay. So Karate Man versus Ethan Page, they're essentially fighting, and what they have is like a bunch of backdrops of like different parts of the world. I think it was Ethan Page, or was it the Karate Man, who was saying you're ugly, and they were just cutting like this promo. I don't even know, guys. This was bizarre, but it was funny. Okay, it was bizarre, but it was funny, and it really made me laugh, especially the ending where the Karate Man takes out his heart, holds it up in his hand, and it completely reminded me of that Dumb and Dumber scene, which again I posted on Twitter. I liked this, guys. It was goofy, and that's what it should be when you have a match like this. When you have a concept like this, it shouldn't be something you have to take seriously. It should be something that, okay, you already know it's goofy, so you might as well treat it that way. And I thought this was a creative thing for them to do. I like this, guys. I really did. What did you guys think of the Karate Man versus Ethan Page? Go ahead and send in your comments. And while I wait for those, I do want to remind you guys all, if at any point throughout the stream you want to send in a super chat, you are more than welcome to. Again, you keep me paid. You keep me paid. Fed. Oh my gosh. Sorry. So thank you, Smith. So I messed that up because I was reading and saying, so Smith Cortez was saying Ethan Page died. And that's why I said you keep me Page, because I was reading your comment as I was saying it. But yes, Ethan Page died. He's gone. Rip Ethan Page. He got his heart taken out of him. His beautiful red bloody heart. Oh, that sounded terrible. Catherine Dixon says, Ethan Page segment felt like his WWE work sample to show how goofy he can be. There you go. Bam. Audition right there. Audition tape. Send it in. Maldini88 says, rip Ethan Page. Backlash. Oh, wait. Ryan Lozano says, I would really like to see All Ego in NXT. I think I'm not going to Moving on. No comment. Backlash says, quickest cinematic match ever. How long was it? I don't think I tracked how long it was. I was just kind of, living in the moment. Matthew Makovsky says, so clearly it's the send-off. He died, so now he gets to go to AEW, teams with Hangman Page. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Joseph Boza says, this match fit at the right spot. It gave them time to set up for the barbed wire massacre. Yeah, exactly. Kevin Yu says, I really enjoyed the Karate Man versus Ethan Page match. It was so much fun. I'm sad that Page is leaving Impact. He is a stud. Yeah, but at the same time, like, guys, it's growth. You got to grow, man. You got to keep growing. Got to go for those big opportunities. Get them while you can. Thank you. Hello to Ben Smith, who just came into the stream. And hello to big boy Johnny25. I'm getting so many new faces on here. A lot of you guys, I already know you based on your username. So I'm like, oh, yay, this person's on. Like, there's so many people on here where I'm like, I know you. You're on all my streams. Yay. But it is very exciting to also get some new viewers on here. So thank you so much to this new peoples that are coming on here to talk about wrestling with me. It's just pretty darn awesome. All right, guys, let's move on. Where are we at? After this, we had the barbed wire massacre match, which was Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. And guys, we didn't get the barbed wire ropes. We didn't get the barbed wire ropes. I kind of wanted the barbed wire ropes. I'll be real with you guys. I was hoping for a little bit more out of this one. I know that sounds really crazy. I thought the beginning was kind of boring. I thought they took a while to really get to all of the violence and all of the, mean, gritty, disgusting stuff that we all wanted to see in a match like this. Like, let's be real, the monster in all of us comes out when we have a stipulation like this. But once we kind of got, so I think after I think it was okay. So we had a good spot in the beginning where Eddie Edwards like ran straight into that barbed wire table. I think after that was when we started picking everything up a little bit more. But for the most part, it was like the slow, methodical, like ride. That's what it felt like. It was slow and methodical, but it kept picking up as it went on. Another really cool spot in this was when Sami Callihan had that controller wrapped in barbed wire and just like was pressing it on Eddie Edwards' forehead. I mean, that was just disgusting sick. Overall, it was good, but I do think that this match would have been a lot better had they actually had the barbed wire rope. I thought it would have brought it to that next level because for the most part, it just felt like a hardcore match. It didn't really feel like, you know, the massacre that a barbed wire match should be. So what do you guys all think about this? Was it enough violence for you? Did you need more violence? Because clearly I'm a monster and I just need a ton of violence, a ton of blood, a ton of gore. I'm just psychopathic that way. Do not quote me on that. All right. Let's see. Wait, I didn't know this. Jake Larson says Ethan Page changed his location on Twitter from Canada to dead. Shut up. Did he really? All right. I'm going to go check that out afterwards. Hey, what's up? Robert DeFelici is in here. What's up, Robert? Robert says, I think kick outs at one in barbed wire matches hurt the gimmick. Yeah, I kind of think so too. Yeah. Thomas Lipiat says, first time I watched a post show with Denise, loving it. Sup, Thomas? Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. I just talk like a lot about whatever happened on whatever show I'm talking about, but it's pretty fun. All right, so let's go ahead and read what you guys thought about the barbed wire massacre match. So let's see. We have a comment here. I'm trying to keep track of all your comments, everybody. Okay, let's start off with Renegade Otaku, who says, I wish Sami Callihan won this match because he needed the victory more. I already read Jake Larson's. Joseph Moore says, the violence and gore was relatively low, but I'm glad. I don't want to see anybody slice open a bicep ever. Look, Joseph, again, I'm a monster. The more violence, the better for me. I'm going into this match thinking I'm going to see the absolute worst. And you want to know something really disgusting? This was the match that I accidentally chose to eat a bowl of cereal while I was watching. And I was like kind of hoping that they wouldn't do something so gross while I was eating my cereal. But once I was done, I was like, all right, bring on the violence. I don't care. I ain't eating anymore. Joseph Boza says, if this was TNA Barbed Wire Massacre, we could have gotten the old school barbed wired ropes. It felt like they were trying to be PG and not be a bloody mess. Fourth time this match occurred in history. Seyi Ogunabi says, this barbed wire massacre match wasn't as violent as years past, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Seyi, because I do agree with this statement. Kevin Hughes says, I really expected the barbed wire rope as well, since all the other barbed wire matches had the barbed wired rope. There was so much symbolism and storytelling in the match with the exchange of the weapons. Yeah, again, it was like this more, like I said, a slow, methodical type of build there. Backlash says, there wasn't as much blood as I thought there would be. Credit to Eddie for wearing white ring gear, though. Hey, that's actually something pretty clever. You're right. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. And thank you so much to Gerardo Montañez Jr., who says there was blood everywhere. Also just sub. Thank you so much. Again, people here that love the blood, raise your hand because that's definitely me. Matthew Makovsky says, this was just hate this stuff, but this would have been a great moment to have Mox's debut. Matthew, what is wrong with you? You don't like violence and blood. How could you? I love all this type of stuff. Like I've always been a fan of this. Like this, I've always wanted to see like a death match in person. I've never have, but I think it's something that I would like to see in person. I tell my fiance that and he just thinks I'm insane, but I'm like, dude, I think it would be so cool to see something in person like that. Anthony Sulpizio says, more violence, disgrace to the barbed wire massacre name. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Thank you. Gojani64 says the N64 controller spot had me laughing a lot, but yes, I expected a more hardcore match. Yeah, this was your regular. Brian Panthera says deathmatch Denise. Dude, that is a killer last name. Joseph Moore says Sabu, born to be wired. Yeah. Thank you so much to Backlash for sending in a super chat. Says, thanks for the post show, Denise. Dude, thanks so much for the super chat. I really greatly appreciate it. Carlton Lineback says, I want to see Terry Funk and Sabu in one of those matches. Dude, they, oh my God, guys. I have a picture. Well, actually, I probably can't post the picture up here, but I was actually just looking at a picture of this earlier today. I have it somewhere on my messages here with Terry Funk when they did this match with Terry Funk and Sabu, and I'm looking at the picture right now. I actually can't post it up right now because Terry Funk nearly died in that, and I think they took because I think they got stuck or something with the barbed wire, and I think it took them an hour to separate them or something. I'm not gonna post this picture up because I don't think I can based on YouTube rules, but I'm looking at their match and it's bloody. Oof. It's, yeah, okay. I'll move on now. Or else I'll just keep going about this on and on. Brent Grant says Striker and D'Lo putting over Kenny like he was their champ is great, and AEW treat him like a traitor. Great storyline. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that too. I think that they have done a pretty good job at making Kenny Omega seem like the big deal that he really is. Alrighty, everyone. Oh yeah, this is something to talk about. Raskolnikov 7 says, why Kenny Omega use the Bullet Club t-shirt? Dude, I don't know. I don't know if that's something they can do, to be honest. I don't know. So it is going to be interesting because I think Tama Tonga necessarily hasn't had the kindest things to say. Brant Grant points out to Trotoma, yeah, dude, when I saw that, I kind of felt like it was, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going to happen there. Matthew McCoskey says, bloody oof, is that your new catchphrase? Probably. Matthew McCoskey says, fun fact, Sabu just followed me on Twitter. Did he really? Huh? All right, guys, let's move on. I'll just keep on going here forever. Let's move on to the main event of the night. And this is the match that really, I think, had this match not happened, had it not ended on the note that it ended, I think I would have been a little bit more disappointed in the show. But for the most part, this really brought it up to that next level. This match pretty much made worth the pay-per-view. So we had Rich Swann, Chris Sabin, and Moose versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson with Don Callis. And so honestly, when they announced Moose, again, I said this at the top of the show, I wasn't all that I was like, whatever's about it. I didn't really care for it. But he really ended up stealing a lot of the shine. He really took a lot of the focus, and I think it was awesome. Okay, there were a lot of good moments in this match. I thought the beginning of the match wasn't that great. Nothing really memorable happened to me. Happened in the match. So I didn't necessarily love the top of this match, but the second half of this match, I thought really picked up and really felt like a main event. Some of the things that I liked was that spot between Moose and Gallows because again, commentary made a note of this. These are two big guys, and they really matched each other's energy. They were really bringing as much as the other person. I can't sit here and say, oh, Gallows was bringing more than Moose. No, they really matched each other's energy in this exchange, and I really, really like that. It made me want to see them go at it in a singles match. I love this. Again, Moose really brought his working shoes. He earned his spot in this match, where I think there were a couple of people on Twitter that even wrote to me that they would love to see Moose versus Kenny Omega now. That's a thing too. Why? Because he did such a good job in this match. There was that awesome Spanish fly from the top rope, which, by the way, credit to Impact Production on that one, because they got a really, really good shot of that. So that looked pretty sick. I liked that. I loved everything between Kenny Omega and Rich Swann. All of their interaction. I mean, those two guys were just moving at a different speed. And Lord knows if they have a match together, a singles match together, you know for a fact that it's going to be good because they can go at a certain speed that is really unmatched. And by the way, Rich Swann was actually in my match of the year last year. His match against Eric Young at Bound for Glory was my favorite match of 2020. So I know that Rich Swann can hella go. So I can't wait based on how this match ended here tonight, I do think that we are going to be seeing Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega at Rebellion. Now, again, that's not confirmed or anything, at least not right now that I know of, but I really do think that that's the match we should be seeing. Like, this was pretty cool. I liked all of this. Omega pin Swann with the one-winged angel. This was great, guys. I love this. How did you guys all feel about this main event? And is Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega something that you guys want to see? We have a comment here from Brant Grant who says, Moose showed everyone how to grab the brass ring. Get your shine on. Dude, yes, I freaking love that. I love when a guy, doesn't matter what company, when a guy gets a very small opportunity and makes a whole thing of it. You know, in WWE, somebody that we can talk about is Jey Uso. Jey Uso has done that. He got an opportunity, and boy, did he run with it. When you see somebody do that, like, it makes you want to say, hey, like, let's pay attention to this guy, because it's so rare. You know, your moment can pass by really fast in the world of wrestling. Like, if someone doesn't, connect with you, your moment can pass. So when guys actually, like you say, grab that brass ring and make it happen for yourself, like, dude, that's awesome. Joseph Moore says, Moose and Rich and Kenny all looked really good in this. Yeah, they were definitely the stars in this match. Really, really do think so. Jim says, and I also think that's another thing that Omega does, elevating others. Yeah, he does do that. And it's funny because he was doing some really, he sold great for Moose in this too. But I do have to say that, again, Moose and Rich Swann, like, they held their own here. Smith Cortez says Moose was the MVP of that match. Isn't that crazy to say though? Like, he was like the MVP, but that's crazy because I'm sure when you guys, we saw this on paper, you're going to say, oh, the MVP is going to be Kenny Omega, or, oh, the MVP is going to be Rich Swann, or, oh, whoever the MVP you thought was going to be originally for this match. But it ended up being Moose, the guy that I know I wasn't necessarily expecting that much out of. So good for him. And Martin Carrillo says, props to Moose. He has always been a good wrestler, good pro wrestler. Yeah, and he also had some really good promos here tonight as well that I thought definitely elevated him. And he has had a lot of, really good moments, from what I've been catching on Impact Wrestling. Packed Entertainment Zone says, this match was good and all, but nowhere near as good as the Barbed Wire Massacre match and the X Division title match. Yeah, so I actually liked this match more than both of those matches. But again, like, you can like whatever you want. But I liked the main event more than the Barbed Wire match and more than the X Division match, which is crazy because I usually tend to always like the X Division matches the most. And we have another comment from Thomas who says that Moose was outstanding in this match. Dude, I hope Moose watches my live stream because he is being put over here. So I'm pretty sure he might enjoy all of this. Alrighty, guys. Okay, here we go. This is something that we need to talk about. And this is a comment from Sean MCG who says, so is a new commentary team better than the old one? So we had Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown here tonight, replacing Madison Rain and Josh Matthews. So what did you guys think about the new commentary team? I'm very curious on how you guys felt. Now, before we actually talk about the actual how they actually did, I do want to say though that when the names were announced, it really kind of, I started thinking to myself, like, it's kind of crazy that in the wrestling world, there never really is that many new faces when it comes to the commentary stuff. Like, I always feel it's usually like the same couple of guys being recycled in and out throughout promotions. I kind of wish we got some new voices, some new people that maybe we're not even that familiar with. I would love to see, new people just kind of do commentary. I definitely think that that's something we need to see more of in wrestling. We need to have new blood, new people doing commentary, because it just kind of feels like it's always the same people sort of recycled and whatnot. But in terms of D'Lo Brown and Matt Striker, I really think that D'Lo Brown he exceeded my expectations, and he was actually my favorite out of both of them. I thought Matt Striker was okay, but I thought D'Lo Brown was actually the one that did a phenomenal job at this. I thought he came across as, easy to listen to, didn't say anything that I thought was, didn't make sense or anything like that. Everything he said had a purpose. So I really enjoyed D'Lo Brown in all of this. So what did you guys all think about the announcement of the new commentary team and how you guys feel about it? Terrell says new commentary team didn't spoil the matches. Let's see. And anything else here? I'm trying to see the rest of this as well, how you guys all felt about this. All right, here we go. We're coming from Jim Barcelona, who says, I like Josh and Madison together on commentary, but I got to give it to Stryker and D'Lo. Their energy and talk elevated the show. That's important. So I know that Josh Matthews gets a lot of, negativity in terms of his commentary, but I've always liked Josh Matthews' work. I loved, especially when he would do commentary with Don Callis as a duo. I thought they were one of the best duos. And I don't necessarily think that Josh Matthews has ever gotten that, he's gotten more negativity than positivity, which I personally think it's unfortunate because I do think that he does good work. And Madison Rain, I think that, I always think that, when you have people doing this, it takes time for them to get better and better. And we were starting to see that with Madison. Like, she was getting better and better. We've seen that with Beth Phoenix. She has gotten so much better. Like, from day one to now, she has vastly improved, in my opinion. But I did like Josh and Madison, and I did enjoy their work. And I do like the commentary team of D'Lo and Stryker. I do think that the energy sometimes didn't feel completely matched. Like, I thought the energy could have been a little bit higher, but that's just my opinion. And mainly because I think that the person with the best energy is really Mauro Ranallo. Like, nobody to me has the kind of energy that he has. So I would say he's like up here when it comes to the energy there. But after that, we do have a couple more comments in regards to the commentary team, but I lost you guys. All right. I'm trying to find the rest of your comments, guys. All right. Sorry, I lost your guys' comments on this. No. Live television, guys. Sometimes we have all right, there we go. It's okay. I just finished reading. Okay, there we go. Kevin Yu says, D'Lo Brown and Matt Stryker were fantastic. They have such great chemistry. I prefer them over Josh and Madison. Backlash says, Matt was like Moose of the booth. D'Lo was good, but I wish he spoke up a little bit. More. Jake Larson's AEW and Veda Scott for the women's tag tournament. That was cool to have a new voice. I also wish it happened more. Yeah, I think so too. And then, let's see. Anybody else have any thoughts on here? Joe Shipley wants to know, how long has Denise been covering wrestling? Hey, Joe. So in terms of, I've been covering wrestling. All right. So I've been a fan of wrestling since I was about 8 years old. I'm 28 now. Someone do the math because I'm really bad at math. It's embarrassing. 20 years now. Wow. I can't do simple math. I'm not good at math. But okay, so I've been watching wrestling for like my entire life. But in terms of covering it, I would say 2018, March, April. No, sooner that I'm actually wrong. I started in 2017 when I was doing the X-Pac 1 to 360 podcast. That's when I technically started covering wrestling. But because prior to that, I was in the entertainment world. So I did like pop culture, TV, movie type of stuff. And then I went on and started doing wrestling because that was more of my passion, because I was going to all the shows like I normally would. I just wasn't actually getting paid to talk about wrestling or doing anything in the wrestling realm. So I think it was 2017 when I officially started, but 2018 was really when I kind of like kicked it up to that next level. And then 2020 was when I really just kind of got more opportunities. Brent Grant says, it's another win for Impact and AEW. Impact getting new eyes and AEW grabbing headlines on someone else's show for the second time this month. Yeah, I agree on there too. Garrett Coulter says, Don West and Mike Tenay were fitting for their new era. The new commentary feels right for this era. Dude, I was such a big fan of Don West. I mean, Mike Tenay has the knowledge, but damn, Don West had the energy. And I really, really like very energetic type of commentators. Like, that's like the style that I love. But I do have to say that one of my favorite commentators now is definitely Rocky Romero. I think he's one of my favorites just because he brings this vibe where he's very professional, but he also comes across as a fan. And I really like that in the commentary. And I love the fact that he always adds like a bunch of little fun facts about like the wrestlers that you're watching in the ring. I really appreciate Rocky Romero's fun facts. If I ever run into Rocky Romero, like in the next couple of whatever, when wrestling's back on again with people, I got to make sure to tell Rocky Romero that I appreciate his fun facts because I really, really do. Alrighty. And Jake Larson says, Josh Matthews is not bad, but if you read the Twitch chat during Impact, they are so mean to him. Yeah, that's sad. I almost see, sometimes I feel that when someone gets so much negativity, it almost just sticks. Like, even if you don't think they're that bad, just because you're so used to being negative about someone, it just kind of stays there. So yeah. Martin Carrillo says, BTW, it's so weird hearing WWE interviewers talking on commentary and Impact. Not really for me. No, I think I'm pretty used to it on there. And Jim Barcelona also notes, you are right. Madison and Beth Phoenix have improved. Veda Scott is really good. Oh yeah. When I posted a tweet about this on Twitter, basically saying that I think that we should have new blood injected into the commentary team, I can't tell you how many comments I got where people were putting over Veda Scott. And that makes me really, really excited. Honestly, it really, really does. Alrighty, any other thoughts on here? Okay, I know we have some more comments. I'm trying to read this one from Kevin Yu. He says, D'Lo Brown had such a great line during Deonna versus Taya match. When Susan was recording the match, D'Lo went, okay, Karen, put the phone down. So funny. Yeah, I caught that one too. And it's funny too, because just a couple minutes before he said that line, I was thinking of the whole Karen thing because it reminded me of that too. And then he said it and I was like, okay, I appreciate this. Alrighty, guys. So go ahead and send in any final comments. We are just about wrapping up the show, but I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, guys. Like, it really makes me happy how many people have been tuning in to my post pay-per-view shows for quite some time. So I'm really, really excited. George White says, Denise excited for Mania 39 in LA. Hold on, guys. Don't leave anywhere. I have a gem for you. 1 second. All right. Check it out, guys. It's my WrestleMania 37 construction man hat. So I'm very sad. As you guys know, WrestleMania 37 was supposed to happen here in Los Angeles over at the SoFi Stadium. For those of you guys who do not know, I'm from Los Angeles. This is my hometown. Lived here my entire life. And so I was very excited when we were going to have WrestleMania here, especially at the SoFi Stadium, which looks bloody fantastic. And I got to do the media press event for it. It was so cool. I got to interview Stephanie McMahon, Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns. It was fantastic. And then COVID happened. And then we got no WrestleMania. But I still have my construction man hat. And the reason they gave this to us was because when we did the press event, they still had SoFi Stadium was still under construction. So they wanted us to wear hard hats for our safety. So anyways, I still have this. It's kind of like a odd, like, it's kind of like a rare collectible now, if you think about it, because WrestleMania 37 it's not going to happen here. So it's kind of like the thing that never was, but almost happened. So yes, George White, to answer your question, I am definitely looking forward to WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles because I do not have to I do not have to pay for hotels and flights because I've been traveling to WrestleMania now like almost every year. And every year it costs a buttload of money to fly there, get a hotel, pay for the shows, buy merch, and feed myself. So there you guys go. That's the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you all. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram @_Denise Salcedo and subscribe to this channel. I will see you guys all later.